Welcome back to Hannity, broadcasting live tonight from the Quicken Loans Arena. We're in Cleveland, Ohio for night 3 of the RNC. We bring back our friend, pollster Frank Luntz, his focus group of undecided voters. Did I get it right the last time, Frank, that 10 people shifted tonight that were undecided for Trump and Pence as a result of the great night they had here?
Yes, and it moved towards Pence. It's not that they've made the commitment. We're going to ask that question tomorrow night after the convention is over. But I'd like to start with one of the most powerful clips from Governor Pence. This is where he talked about the status quo and what Hillary Clinton represents. You all dialed it through the roof, Republicans and Democrats alike. Let's take a look at the highlight of this evening.
The idea was to present the exact opposite of a political outsider, the exact opposite of an uncalculating truth teller. Then on that score, you got to hand it to the Democratic establishment. They outdid themselves this time. Hillary Clinton wants a better title, and I would too if I was already America's Secretary of the Status Quo.
Okay. Why was this so good?
Well, I think he took something that some people perceive as a negative, which is how outspoken Trump is, and turned it into a positive thing, how truthful and how honest he is.
I thought it brings out the point that he's not a politician, and that's important in this race because people are sick of politics.
People are tired of Washington. Secretary Clinton has been the queen of Washington for a generation. He hit the nail on the head.
Now, she's been in Washington for a quarter of a century. But that also indicates that she's got more experience than just about any candidate in the last 20 years.
Just because you've been there doesn't mean you have experience. That she's been in the process, but she has no experience with the new America.
She was Secretary of State. She was First Lady. She was the United States Senator from New York. And you're telling me she has no experience?
Well, she's experienced, but look at her track record. It's awful.
Horrible experience. You can take a look at one failure after another. You know, being there is not it's not success.
Rick, you know, she told the mother of American hero Sean Smith that it was a YouTube video. Now, I am an educated American. How could a YouTube video cause the death of your son? What Mike Pence did tonight.
But this is not a commercial, but go ahead.
What he said is, we need to tackle radical Islam.
But you voted for Bernie Sanders.
You know why? Because Bernie Sanders got to my heart. What happened tonight? Mike Pence got to my heart.
With everything Bernie Sanders.
I know he does, but he reminded me of my father. He did. This guy reminded me of, like, okay, I could trust this guy.
Your father is 74 years old and a socialist?
No, but I could trust this guy.
Well, I think Hillary Clinton has qualifications and she has experience. But what this moment kind of did is it distilled down the fact that she's not going to be a change candidate. And I think a lot of people are looking for a positive change.
Everybody wants change.
She's not trustworthy. She's a liar. She's a blatant liar. And I keep going back to what happened in Benghazi. She's a liar.
So clearly the message of the 3 days of the convention is getting through. This is music to the Republican ears. But I know that there are a few of you who aren't so positive. Who are they? Come on, there's some of you who aren't so positive. Go ahead. About the last 3 days.
Well, I feel we know who Hillary Clinton is. She's not, we don't know favorable views of her, no nothing. But it doesn't mean that we still want Trump. Right. Trump needs to do something to show us why we want him, why he's going to be different.
You guys agree with that?
Yes, absolutely.
Go ahead.
You know, at the end of the day, a lot of people have this irrational exuberance from all the great speeches and excitement, but after the convention, we're going to remember Trump's policies are awful. Pence's policies might be even worse. It's crap with a side of crap at the end of the day.
I don't agree with that.
I don't agree with that.
All that I want to say is thank you for cleaning up the language. Go ahead.
I agree with everything he said. And as far as Pence, I liked his speech. I liked everything about him. He should be running instead of Trump. But the thing is, and the problem is, everybody thinks it's going to be better with him. It's not going to change Trump. He's going to be his lapdog. He's going to do whatever he says.
I think the Republican Party is showing a strong, united front at this convention, but at the end of the day, Trump's still kind of a sleazebag.
I mean, I'm stunned because you're telling me that you're moving in his direction, and yet you're describing him so negatively.
I think Pence is going to bring the balance that the Trump ticket needs. He's going to, like, yin and yang, and because he is conservative.
Is he yin or yang?
But I think he can bring the unpredictability out of out of Trump and get him back
One more, and we're going to go to the Ted Cruz.
I completely agree with that. I think Pence does bring some sanity to the ticket, and he can't be fired from the job of vice president. And I think he will have some input, whether Trump listens or not. I feel better about the ticket with him there than not there.
One of the key moments tonight was the non-endorsement from Ted Cruz. First off, did you like that?
Yes. I was okay with it.
Who liked it? Virtually everybody around here. What was so positive about that?
It's the principles. If Ted Cruz had done anything else other than that, I would have think he sold out. He spent his adult life helping the conservative movement. This guy is not a conservative.
It was party first. It was not the Trump National Convention. It's the Republican National Convention. Ted Cruz is the epitome of the modern Republican, and he showed up.
He spoke out to people who want to vote with their conscience and said, come out in November and vote how you see fit and trust the American people to make the decision.
I feel like that if Cruz would have endorsed Trump, it would have felt fake.
I want you to see, because it's, again, one of the most successful moments. And I want to remind viewers at home that the higher the lines climb, the more powerful the statement. If it goes above a 70, it's significant. If it goes above an 80, it's an absolute political home run. Let's take a look at Ted Cruz at his best.
If you love our country and love your children as much as I know that you do, stand and speak and vote your conscience. Vote for candidates up and down the ticket who you trust to defend our freedom and to be faithful to the Constitution.
He stood up. He stood for his own principles. He wasn't fake. I would have voted for him if he were the candidate.
But does this impact your opinion of Donald Trump and Mike Pence? The fact that he didn't endorse.
Actually, it does, because Newt Gingrich mentioned that Donald Trump invited them to speak without the promise of endorsement, which tells me something about his character. He invited them because they were his competitors, and then they all came together.
You agree with that?
I do. Absolutely.
Because?
Yeah, I mean, that's what a strong leader does. They're not threatened by people who may disagree with them.
So you actually feel better? A lack of endorsement makes you feel better?
It was honest.
A good leader surrounds himself with good people, and that's what Donald Trump did tonight. They were all home runs.
Yeah.
All home run hitters. Governor Scott Walker was a home run. And what stuck with me was, hey, your freedoms have been taken away. Freedom of religion. Okay, the Second Amendment is getting attacked. Then he talked about our police officers, attacking our police officers. Let's stand behind the blue.
So much has been said about they had to sign a pledge to support the nominee of the party, and we have seen some people are not here and have refused to do that. But these people did come, and they're holding true to their pledge.
Yes. And that makes you feel better about Donald Trump?
It makes me feel better about the Republican Party.
Who feels better about the Republican Party today than you did 72 hours ago? Raise your hands. Now, that's pretty darn good. But the real question, who feels better about Donald Trump today than you did 72 hours ago? That's okay, but they'll be disappointed with that. One more, because then we're going to go to the surprise of this convention.
That's the problem here, Frank. We got all these swing voters, and they're up for this message. They're hitting the principles, the policies. They're totally backing it. But when it comes to this candidate, it's like we're putting lipstick on a pig. It's not working for me, Frank.
You are
You
determined.
gotta vote for somebody. This is America.
Like Senator Cruz said, I'm voting down ticket.
And we only have one president. One president. You're an American.
No, but Ted Cruz at least reminded us that it's the most important thing we have as Americans. The vote is a key thing. Don't give that up. That is what everyone is fighting for across the world. It's the vote.
Liberty, liberty, DNA. We should all have liberty in our DNA right now. We're Americans.
There are going to be more than two people running. You have Harry Johnson. You have Jill Stein. You don't. We could use
They don't
a
have a
third
prayer.
party.
They
We
don't
could
have a
use
prayer.
third
Okay,
party.
hold on.
What's the difference?
There's one individual that surprised a lot of you here, and that's Donald Trump Jr. You have a clip that scored very high among most of the people here, and then I want to get into what was so powerful and influential. Let's roll that clip.
The other party also tells us they believe in the American dream. They say we should worry about economic inequality and immobility. You know what? They're right. But they don't tell you that it was their policies that caused the problem, and it was their policies that have no accountability.
So let's wrap this up. America's watching. If you had to choose today, Trump, Clinton or no vote? Who here votes for Clinton? Who here votes for Trump? 2, 4, 6, 7. Who doesn't vote? Sean, there's movement here, immeasurable movement, but not significant movement. I hear it in the voices. I hear it in what they're saying, and they are more favorable towards the Republican Party. But Donald Trump is going to need a great speech tomorrow for him to really score. Am I correct?
Yes.
Back to you, Sean.
Frank Luntz, appreciate it.